How you doing? My name is Jose and today I'll talk to you about the new JOHN VARVATOS Indigo 2020. It's not a new release, but it just released like at the end of 2021, but I'll be honest, it's a fragrance that it really surprised me, no? It's a fragrance that, first of all, let's start with a bottle, right? It's a blue bottle. So, which means, or apparently, you can tell that it may go for the blue fragrance type or vibe. When you smell it at first, you can tell, alright, it's gonna be a blue fragrance, okay? It's a fragrance that from the beginning, you can tell that it has this citrus part that mostly all of the blue fragrance has, and indeed it has it as well. Well, this part comes from lime, so you can expect like lime. Let's put this at first, and it's a fragrance that it doesn't smell natural. You can expect something like niche quality because it isn't. It's a fragrance that, I mean, it's JOHN VARVATOS, you know, it's a bang for your buck, all of their fragrances. I'll be honest with you, I really like them. And it's the same here, right? Don't expect like first quality ingredients because in this one you don't got that. When I say that it can remind you to a cologne, I mean that it has that citrus part, it has this pink pepper part that you can tell that almost all colognes, even from Acqua di Parma, has that part of like citrus with pink pepper, and now you have this part of peppermint. That's right, but that's not like the main thing of the fragrance, because when I first smelled it I was like, you know what, I really enjoy this fragrance, but there's something that, I mean, I don't know exactly what it is, but I love it. And it's Himalaya Puppy. So this part of Himalaya Puppy, when I first smelled it, I was like, wow, I don't know what is that, but I really enjoy it. And I'm gonna be honest, it's like some type of flowers, but make the flowers dry and as well put like some powder on it. That's exactly like what it smells. And let's add cardamom. This part of cardamom, it's like all of the cardamom you have ever smelled, and even it can remind you a little bit of like La Nuit de l'Homme, the Yves Saint Laurent. And then we have something that almost every blue fragrance has, and it's patchouli, right? This part of patchouli, it's like a go-to on a blue fragrance as well. Well, in this occasion, this part of vetiver, right? Normally on all of the blue fragrance you have this like kind of woody vibes to it, but in this one it doesn't have like that woody type of wood. It has vetiver. This part of vetiver is going to remind you a little bit woody. It's not like all the way woody, but it has some part of woody. And musk as well, right? So first of all, this is a fragrance that the major problem that it has is that you will probably not smell it. So it's a fragrance that, I'll be honest with you, I wear it today and alright, it's amazing, right? I really love it, but I didn't smell it. Alright, so I didn't smell it, but there was one point that everyone smelled me. That's the big deal with this one. It's a fragrance that you're gonna buy it and probably you're not gonna smell it, but you're gonna get compliments if that's what you're looking for, because the smell is amazing, I'm gonna be honest. So the durability is gonna be around 8 and 9 hours on skin. Well, that's the number that it gave me, but I'm gonna be honest, in those 9 hours you are gonna smell the fragrance like 2 or 3 hours, because the projection is, I mean, it's great, but it's not like so good. It's gonna defend itself. JOHN VARVATOS, I'll be honest to you, there are two types of fragrances, right? Either it's for young people, well, for young, I mean like it's gonna be really playful, and there is like the serious kind of fragrances. In this case, well, it actually has another one, and that's the Nick Jonas collaboration, but that's like another story. These two fragrances are fragrances that I do recommend for everyone, right? It's a blue fragrance, right? You can expect that citrus part, then like a little bit more like flowery in this case, and then that like patchouli with woody notes. But in this case, it's a fragrance that even like a 15-year-old or 18-year-old to up to 60 years old can use this fragrance. So it's a blue fragrance. It's trying to do a lot, but can this fragrance do a lot? That's the big question. And the answer is yes, indeed. It's a fragrance that in the morning it was cold and I used it and it was perfect. I'm not saying that it's a perfect fragrance for the cold, because it isn't. And in the hot, it's a great fragrance, right? In the heat, it's gonna work great. But can you use it on the day and the night? And the answer is yes. And you can use it either in a date or in school or going here or going there. But here's like the big deal. It's not a fragrance that you're gonna use when something is really fancy, right? You're not gonna use it with a suit, with a smoking, with a tuxedo, because I'll be honest, when you smell it at first, it's not a fragrance that I will use we are wearing a tuxedo or wearing a smoking, so that's one thing that you have to have in mind. So if it's a fragrance that you're gonna consider buying, I'll be honest, it doesn't smell like a Dior Sauvage. Actually, it doesn't smell like any of your typical blue fragrance. It doesn't smell like Bleu de Chanel. The most thing that it can remind you of is biking cologne, right? First of all, this is a niche quality fragrance, right? Like the ingredients, the notes are like up here, and this one is like JOHN VARVATOS, so it's gonna be like down here, and this one like here, but it can remind you of this one, right? So if you never actually have smelled both, I will tell you, go get Versace Dylan Blue, right? Take out that like aquatic part that it has and put some flowers on it, and that's actually the way that it can smell to Indigno 2020. It's a fragrance that I absolutely recommend more for younger people, for younger dudes, because I mean, if you're like an adult and you are gonna buy this, I will recommend like Acqua di Profumo. I will recommend actually every other blue fragrance besides this one, because this one is like more, I mean, a younger person or even an adult can use it, but I'll be honest, I feel like it's more for younger dudes, and not because of the smell, because you have like more options on the market if you're like an adult man. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe and smell you later.